Oh no! My car broke down, and the repair costs are way higher than I expected. I need cash right now. I need cash. I can't also wait for payday. And borrowing money takes forever. What do I do? Wait a minute! I've been saving on the Achieve app. I should have some money there. Wow! My DigiSave investment on the Achieve app gained some additional interest. I love this app. With the Achieve app, I can instantly have access to my emergency savings anywhere, anytime. I've been saving little by little, and now I don't have to stress at all. Download the Achieve app today and start building your emergency fund. It's the smartest way to stay prepared for life surprises.
Hello and good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. We know we are live. This is the internet, so probably we are live in so many locations. And as always, I'd like to know where you are joining us from. My name is Kobna Nyamitedapa, and I'll be moderating today's session. Today's session is exceptionally interesting for me because you're going to talk about smart money for professionals. Professionals, we see a lot of money. Sometimes we feel we don't have a lot of money, but how can we make the best decision? I mean, the value of money across board is different, but one thing that is constant is we all have to make certain decisions. And today we are going to be having a conversation about how we can make those decisions in a way that um, helps us as professionals. So let me know where you are joining us from. You can write your name and where you are joining from. So I have Ibrahim. Ibrahim, let's know where you are joining us from. So it would be great for you to let me know where you are joining from when you write your name. So I can see if you had Tanko joining from the northern region, or Ibrahim joining from Kaswa. Wherever you are joining us from, let us know who you are and where you are joining from. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. Okay. Ibrahim says he's watching from Takwa Western region. Right, Ibrahim, thank you. Joining all the way from Takwa. That's the beauty of internet, right? So Wahid from Accra. Okay. Wahid from Accra. Thank you for joining. Let me take some two more people and then we'll go right into today's conversation. I also have Emmanuel from Tema. Emmanuel, thank you for joining all the way from Tema. Okay. I think that it will be in place for us to do this. In Ghana today, we are all mourning. I think the president has declared 3 days of mourning because of what happened. We've lost 8 honorable men who lost their lives in service. So I think it will be in place to do 1 minute of silence to honor their lives because these were people who were serving in public offices. So we are going to do a minute of silence for the departed souls. May their souls rest in peace. Amen. Okay, so right into today's conversation. So if you just joined us, we are having a conversation on smart money for professionals. If you joined us in a quiet moment, we're giving a minute of silence to our departed souls, the honorable men who lost their lives in the helicopter crash. Okay, so today I have two beautiful ladies with me. Are going to be having this conversation. I'll be introducing them soon. So you can kindly turn on your videos. I have Tenny. So Tenny is currently the general manager for Petra Fund Services. She's had a career also at SNIT, that's Social Security and National Insurance Trust. She has a BSc in psychology and an MBA in finance, so from UCC and University of Ghana Business School, respectively. So somebody who understands your feeling and understands money. That's a very good combination, you know. Anytime I tell people that when I'm talking about money, I tell them that money is an emotional conversation. So guess what? Somebody who understands emotion and understands money. I think she will do great. We'll learn a lot from her today. Tenny, you're welcome.
Thank you, Kobna, and good evening to everyone joining us.
Great, great, great. Good evening. And next is Rich Love. Rich Love has a BSc in economics. She's also studied at the Ghana Stock Exchange. She is a financial advisor. She's been a financial advisor, done business operations, and she's now a strategic wealth advisor. So, with all her experience in understanding the market and understanding business, she'll also be talking to us on smart money for professionals. Rich Love, good to have you.
Hi, Kwabna. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Great, 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 great. The way you pause for a second before you respond, I wanted to ask, do you start Kaswa? The internet is not the best. Please, the Kaswa people, don't come for me, I beg. Anyway, so I can see a lot more people join. I can see Jay from Germany, Grace from New Legon, Kojo from Spintex, and Roland from Dodoa. Okay, right. Thank you so much for joining. So I think we'll go right into the conversation. Tenny, when you hear smart money for modern professionals, what really comes to your mind?
Thank you, Kobna. So, smart money essentially is being strategic about the money that you earn.
Mm-hmm,
Um, a lot of us live beyond our means as professionals, which is a really bad habit. Today, there's a salary alert, and in a day or two, you hear people say they are broke. And the question is why? Why are you so broke after just a few days of payday? And you realize that the problem is that people have accumulated debts in the previous month that they are offsetting with their current
mm-hmm,
salary, or they are spendthrifts, and so they have a tall list of items in their carts. And once the alert hits, straight away they are going to check out those items on Amazon or wherever they do their shopping. So being smart with your money means living on a budget. It means living below your means so that you have enough room to save and invest. It also means being disciplined, essentially, with the money that comes to you, and being able to say no to things that you do not need, so that you
mm-hmm.
don't put yourself in a really bad situation.
Understood. So I hear you say that being smart money really is about taking good decisions with the money that you have.
Yes, yes.
Great, great. And I also hear you say that people don't they spend the money even before it comes. It's like their bank account is
Oh
actually
yeah,
a hole. It just the money just
exactly.
filters through the bank account.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. But okay, so for Rich Love, with what Tenny has said, right? At which stage do you think, or at which stage of your professional career should one be smart about how they spend their money?
Okay, thanks, Kamna. So, ideally, I think right from your first salary, okay, or even if it's
Mm,
your national service allowance, I mean, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
just 10 CDs, you can do start something, okay. The earlier you
mhm,
start, the better. I think it also helps you to sort of master discipline for saving because, I mean, think of it, if you are able to save from the little that you are getting today, imagine
mhm,
what you can do with a bigger salary, right? So
Mm-hmm.
essentially for me, I think that you don't necessarily need to be rich to start saving and investing. Okay. You just need to master consistency in saving.
Yeah.
So start small, but just be consistent, really.
mm. So the moment you get your first salary, you should start thinking of investing and saving that money. But
Exactly.
but what for Tenny, what do you think are some of the things that really make it difficult for people to start investing? Because you say you don't
Yeah.
have to be rich before you start investing, but some of us, the expenses that are coming, they are just
Mm.
too much. They automatically swallow the income even before it comes. But what do you think are some of the common mistakes or things that make it difficult for people to or professionals to start investing?
Yes, quite a number of things that we don't do right.
Hmm.
First off, people live beyond their means. You are spending more than you earn, and that is a no-no. That's something that when we start our careers, there's a conversation of you need to look a certain way. You need
Hmm.
to let people. There's a perception that I've gotten a
Yeah,
job, so I need to look and act a certain way, and so we end up spending more than we actually earn, and that's a big mistake for us to
but
make.
any
And the
coming to
second,
think of
yes,
it, like for somebody who just completed, let's say, university, you have learned
hmm.
all these 4 years or even more, and you've got your salary. So you have to chill small. How do you manage all
Oh,
those
there's,
things? You
there's no
pretend
harm
that
in.
you
No, nobody's saying don't chill. Nobody's saying don't spend your money on nice things. It's
yeah.
moderation in doing the
Mm,
things that you do, right?
Yeah.
So
understood.
not making sure that you are living within the amounts that you earn is a very key part of financial prudence. There's
Mhm,
also making sure that you are saving and investing. As Rich last said, be consistent about it, even if it's 10 CDs. It's the habits that counts, that you're being
mhm,
consistent, whether it's a weekly or a monthly thing that you're doing. So people not saving and investing from the get-go is a problem. We also
mhm,
have people who don't have an emergency fund. And so your car breaks down or there's some hospital expense that comes up unexpected that you have to pay for. And then you find yourself in this big hole that you need to crawl out from. And so not having an emergency fund is also a big mistake that a lot of us make.
mm,
Essentially, not tracking your expenses, not knowing where your money is going. A lot of people just spend and they're like, you hear people say, I don't even know where this money went. And
mhm,
that's because we don't track our expenses. And you need to do that so that you know where your money is going. And then you can take steps to rectify if the money is going to the wrong place. You also
mm,
have people who don't budget. So
yeah.
you don't live on a budget. If it's a 5,000 that comes in, that 5,000, you don't say, okay, 1,000 CDs is for fuel, and this much is for food, that much is for any other expense, and then you find that the money just vanishes and you don't know what happened to it. It's because you didn't
Mm,
budget, you didn't apportion the funds for specific purposes. There are also people who don't take financial advice or take the wrong financial advice. And that's also
mm.
another mistake that we make early on in our
I
careers.
like I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So there are people who don't take financial advice, and there are people who take, but they are
Mhm.
taking wrong financial advice.
Wrong. Yes, yes.
Mm. So I'm sure that this call is going to give you some very good financial advice. Those listening, and I hope some of the things that you are saying are things that you've probably heard time and again. But the way when you just made this point that listening to advice, it's not the number of times you hear it, but how you practice it, the discipline and the consistency, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned, I want to take you back a bit. You mentioned tracking your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
How do you effectively do that? Because sometimes Uber wants away this kind of
Yeah.
you're trying to remember. I say, you have
Yeah.
selective amnesia. You can't remember the money that you
Mm-hmm.
spent. But how do you
Yes.
properly track it?
How-
Do you have a pen and
Yeah.
paper, everything you write, an app? How do you do that?
So thankfully, technology has advanced. Now there are so many apps that help you track your expenses. If you go to Play Store, if you go to App Store, you find these expense trackers in there. And
Mhm.
I think the goal is also creating the habit of tracking. And so today
Right.
you have, you can start today and you forget, like you're saying, to
Hmm.
input. Maybe you bought five things today, you forgot about four, and you input one. Just input the one and keep going. You get to a stage where you're actually deliberately, intentionally tracking every single thing that your money pays for. And so once you get to that level, then you're able to then
Hmm.
look at it and say, okay, I'm spending X percentage of my funds for this expense, and that needs to change. So it's not something that you learn on day one. It's a habit that you have
Right.
to build. It's painful, but it's very helpful.
I hear you say that we should give ourselves some grace when we start
Oh yes,
on the path of
definitely.
tracking. Like
Mhm.
that, like that. Thank you. So I think notable for me, emergency fund, and an emergency fund. Let me go to Rich Love on this one. Rich, when it comes to emergency fund, right? What advice would you normally give people? Where can you create an emergency fund that you can get easy access to when there are challenges and things like that? How do you do that?
Okay. So an emergency fund is basically having 3 to 6 times of your monthly salary set
Mm,
aside, right? So let's say you earn 1,000 cedis on a monthly basis. You
mhm,
should have an account that has at least 3,000 to 6,000 in there,
mhm,
which you can fall on. But the thing with an emergency fund is you don't build it overnight, or you don't put the money there overnight, right? It takes time
mm,
Mhm.
to build. So on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, especially for us professionals who are receiving our monies on a monthly basis, on a
yeah.
monthly basis, you allocate some money into the for that account or for that fund. That, let's
Mhm,
say that if I'm earning 1,000 cedis today, on a monthly basis, I want to send, let's say, 100 cedis to that account. Even if it will
mhm,
take you 3 years or 2 years, a year to build that fund, it's
Mhm.
something you
mhm,
are doing, right? And the other thing too is you need to find, because it's an emergency and you want to have quick access to it, it needs to be in an account or an investment that you can easily access. Okay.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
something like fortunately we have Achieve. It gives a lot of convenience in assessing your money. So for an emergency fund, personally, I would advise someone to go for a product like DigiSave. Okay. For
Right.
DigiSave, you can make withdrawals anytime. If today you receive a call that your child is not well or your car broke down, something happened, you can
Mhm,
easily use the express withdrawal feature on the app to access your funds and then attend to the emergency.
right. So with DigiSave, you're not just saving your money, but you're also investing it.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Right. And
So even though you are saving for an emergency, you want to have quick access to it. The money is still
yeah,
working for you. It's still being
yeah.
invested. It's not just sitting in a bank account or in any account. It's still doing something.
Mm. Is vacation an emergency?
No.
Eh.
Vacation is a straight no. It's not an
Some
emergency.
people make it to be, but it's not.
How is it? Your
What?
basic come and surprising. That some of the surprises are emergencies. Oh,
They
some
are?
surprises
Well,
are
Today,
emergencies. Anyway,
truly.
emergencies are relative, so it depends.
so you have to define what an emergency is, then you stick to it.
Exactly.
And I've
Yeah.
defined my own. Vacation is emergency. I hope she's not listening. Anyway, so I hope you're not just having this conversation amongst ourselves. Our audience online want to have you also engaged. So
Mm.
if you have any questions, any contribution, just leave it in the comment section, and I'll do well to bring my guest's attention to it. And let me know in the comment section what do you define as an emergency? So for you professionals, what do you define as emergency? Is emergency only bad news? uh, Me, emergency vacation is emergency. It's not car breakdown or child is sick. No, 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 no. So let me see. Let me see how many people think like me and those who don't think like me. When we get to the end of the conversation, you get expert advice from Penny and Rich Love. Okay, so Rich Love, let me stay with you again. When income is increasing, there's some kind of lifestyle inflation that comes with it. It's like your income is like you go for a town hall meeting, or you go for a staff meeting, and they tell you that next financial year is increasing by maybe 20%, 15%. Like at that moment, some people just start thinking that place that I've been buying the cocoa is too close to the road. I shouldn't be going there again. I have to be buying from a restaurant. That kind of lifestyle that comes with increased income. How do you manage it?
Okay. So I think most people believe that if they can earn more, life will
Mhm,
automatically get better. That's the mentality a lot of people have. And to be fair, they're not entirely wrong. Okay.
mhm,
A higher salary will definitely help you meet your meet your needs more
Mm.
comfortably. Okay.
mhm,
But what many don't realize is that this kind of improvement is usually just a small step up, right? So
mhm,
for now, your salary has been increased, so you can afford maybe a nicer apartment now. You can get a better phone, or even afford a few more outings than you used to, right?
Mm.
mm,
But and there's nothing wrong with it. But the difference here is, what are you looking to do? Are you just looking for small upgrades, or are you looking to building wealth? Okay, if
right.
you are looking at building wealth, other than not small upgrades, then your focus needs to shift. Okay. And the focus needs to move from how do I earn more salary to how do I use what I earn to create something bigger than my salary. Right.
Mm,
You need to start thinking of your salary as a seed. If you only spend it, nothing goes, right? But if you plant a part of it, then it's going to multiply. So let's say that your salary, you were taking 5,000, and then it's increased to 8K. So that's an extra 3K for you, right?
mhm,
If you think about it, you are living just fine with the 5K. So the extra
mm,
3K is just extra money for you. So if,
yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, if you are looking to build in wealth, then you would have to redirect the 3K that you are receiving now into your investments. Okay.
Mm,
And I mean, sometimes you've worked hard. You need to enjoy small. So it's
yeah.
okay if you want to spend, yes, if you want to spend maybe 1K of it, but at least make sure that what you are putting into your investment, or what is going into your investment, is a greater portion of the extra money that you are receiving.
Mhm,
And usually it's difficult because, I mean, this is money that I wasn't expecting. I have it now. Why should I just put in my investment? So to make it easier for you, you just need to automate. You just make use of automation, direct
mhm,
debits. I was using 5K earlier. Now I have extra 3K. What do I do?
yeah.
Once the money hits my account, it should don't even see the money. Once the money comes into your account, it should be taken straight to your investment, right? So for me,
Mhm,
that's really a way to make sure that you are not
Mhm.
matching up your lifestyle to your salary increment. See the extra money that's coming in as extra money that you don't exactly need, but it
mhm.
can go into something else to to become another source of income for you.
Understood. I like what you said. You said that small upgrades or building wealth, and that's so deep. Like when you get your salary, you're looking for small upgrades or you're building wealth. Instead, you should focus on using your salary as a seed. So your salary is seed money that you can use to grow.
Mm.
We're speaking
Yeah.
about direct debit. Sometimes when you see the money like that, you are tempted to spend. So before you see it, just send it to the right quarters, save and invest it. That's great. So those on the call, if you hear something that really resonates with you, let me know in the chat box. For me, small upgrades of building wealth is like really resonates with me. Like it really, really makes sense. Small upgrades of building wealth. When the salary comes, those little things. Stop buying food, your cocoa from the roadside and going to a restaurant. Small upgrades. And when you actually put it together for a long time, you're able to build wealth. Thank you for that rich love. So let me go to Tenny. Let me go to Tenny. So spoken about how to build wealth. How can a professional create multiple streams of wealth, right? So Rich Lab has spoken about how um, your salary should be a seed. Now, how can you
Mm.
multiply it, like use that seed to create multiple streams of wealth or multiple streams of income?
Okay, thank you. And that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Today, your salary is like having just one egg in your basket, right? So um, if you have just your salary, that's just
Yeah.
one egg in a basket. And we all know the saying that don't put all your eggs in one basket. So it means there's a need to diversify. You earn your salary is an active way of making money, right? You come
Mhm.
to work and then you have to do the work before you get paid. But there are ways to let your money also do the work on your behalf. And so that's where the additional streams of income can come from. Today, you can decide to go into opportunities, passive income opportunities that allow you to make little payments into a particular portfolio, and then that's invested and then generates income for you as time passes. Or you can decide to invest in a real economy, so somebody can start a side business. You can a lot of today it looks like farming or agric seems to be like a very key push in the last couple of months, and hopefully then in the next few years there's this push on agriculture. You can decide to go into the real sector, right, where you're actually, investing in the economy and then you are making gains from that. So you can
Yeah.
essentially, in terms of passive income, you can look at the financial markets. You have your
Mhm.
mutual funds, you have your stocks, you have your bonds, but depending on your financial how savvy you are financially, you can start small. You can start with something that's easy enough for you to understand. So the mutual funds is diversified. It's a little less risky depending on the kind of fund that you're putting your money in, but it allows you to go in with lower risk,
Mhm.
and then your money works for you for
Mhm.
whatever period it is that your horizon is. Or you can decide, like I said, to go into doing some side business that can generate additional income for you. So that's
Mhm.
just my thoughts on multiple income streams.
Yeah. So talking of multiple income streams, really, why is it important for a professional to be considering multiple streams of income? Is there any risk with just relying on your salary?
Yes, yes. So I think for a lot of us, we say that salary is safe, it's predictable, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we're saying, but it's also unpredictable because you live in an unpredictable market or a fairly predictable market, depending on how you look at it. I think Ghana in the last few years has been unpredictable. Um,
Mm,
Competition can come in, and your business can go bust. Your company can decide to restructure and they lay off employees. So having just rely on your salary can go away in the blink of an eye, depending on whatever is happening within your ecosystem. So
Mm-hmm.
there's the need. So even though you have a salary that's predictable, it's also unpredictable because there are external factors that can come in to impact your ability to earn that salary uh, in the
Mm-hmm.
going forward.
Right. So the salary is predictable and at the same time unpredictable because of external factors.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, Rich Love, talking about the unpredictability of salary, right? Can you um, give us maybe two or three impactful financial habits that can help professionals in a way shield themselves against the unpredictability of life in general or salary or whatever comes that can shake our financial standing?
Okay, thank you, Cardinal. So I think the first one for me is building an emergency fund, like I mentioned earlier. Um, because life is unpredictable, so emergencies are sort of a part of us as humans,
Mhm,
and it comes with our jobs. You can wake up today, tomorrow, or today, and for a reason,
yeah.
you don't have a job anymore, right? And when it
Yes.
happens, what do you fall on? So this is why we say that you need to have an emergency fund. We expect that at least within 3 to 6 months, you should be able to get a job, right?
Hmm.
So if you have the same your salary, what you used to get on a monthly basis, you have the same 6 times of that somewhere, stack up somewhere. You can sort of live
Mhm.
the same life that you were living. You can sort of maintain the same lifestyle that you had. Although this time
Hmm.
around, you know that you need to reduce it because your salary is
Lifestyle
not
never
assured, right? Yes,
exactly.
but you can sort of maintain the same lifestyle for a certain period, which we expect that between that period or within that period, hopefully you should have gotten a job, right? And
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
think it also goes to in doing that. So these will feed into building your emergency fund or saving. So today, with what you're earning, knowing or having at the back of your mind that your salary is not predictable or there's unpredictability in life, you need to
Hmm.
save. And saving can be a bit difficult for some people. I mean, generally, it's a bit difficult. So you need to one habit that I think would help would be to automate your savings. Okay.
Mm.
So you start seeing your savings as a bill rather than a nice to have, right?
Mm.
So on a
Mhm.
monthly basis, you know
So
that
you
the money
see
that you're
your savings as a bill, not a
yes,
nice to
Mhm.
have.
not a nice to have.
Yep.
So it's
Mm.
like a financial responsibility or commitment that you have. That and because it's difficult when you are taking the money out of your account on a
Hmm.
daily or on a monthly basis or something, it's always ideal that you automate the savings. Okay.
Right.
Fortunately for those of us that are on Achieve by Petra already, and if you are not, hopefully after this session, you get onto the app. But
Mhm.
Achieve gives has this auto feature. I think is one of my favorite features so far on the app. It's
Hmm.
it's it helps me stay on track with my savings. Okay. So I know
Right.
that I have like different financial goals. I want to build my emergency fund. I want to save for my rent. I want to save for my child's education. So on a monthly basis, once the money comes in, I give the money purpose. You have like every CD that's coming in has a purpose. So
Hmm.
200 CDs is going here, 100 CDs is going there, 100 CDs. So you don't have to initiate the transaction yourself. Personally, what I do is that if I know that on 28th of every month is when I'm going to get my salary,
Hmm.
I set up the auto deduction around 2 a.m. on 29th
Wow.
so that at the time that so that at the time that the debit is happening, I'm asleep.
Mhm.
I'm not even awake to see it and try to cancel it.
I
You
see.
understand? Yes. I'm not even awake to see that. Oh, I think you receive a first notification prompting you that, oh, we're about to do the deduction. I'm not
Mhm.
awake to even see it and say that and try to even find means to cancel it. By the time I wake up on 29th, those
It's
monies have
done.
already been allocated to where I want them to go. Then the rest there, I can enjoy it as much as I want to. So yeah,
Nice. I like
I think basically automating your savings and then building an emergency fund should really hedge you
it.
against the emergencies of life.
Mm, mm. So with all that you have said, right? Now you have someone who says, okay, these things are great. I have to build an emergency fund. I have to make my investment as a bill and not as a nice to have. So I'm more committed and consistent to it. But
Mm.
my salary, right? So this is to Tenny. To average professionals, what do you think, or what is a rule of thumb that will help them in a saving and investing? To average an average
Okay.
professional, what should they follow to help them save and invest? A rule of thumb.
Mm. Yeah. So we all know that income varies depending on your role and industry markets that you belong to. And
Hmm.
so essentially you need to be looking at the 50-30-20 rule. I know some of us have heard this before, but
Yeah.
what that means is 50% of your income goes to your needs, 30% to your wants, 20% to your savings and investments. But
Okay.
it's not cast in stone. I like to say that depending on your age, depending on the goals that you have for yourself, you can tweak this to meet that need for yourself. And so, for example, you can decide that, okay, I'm going to stretch myself and do 50% um, for needs, but 30 or 35% for my savings and investments, so that the ones are very limited. You want to chill, you want to do nice things, but it's a very limited budget, and you can do something nice for yourself each month. But depending on where you are headed, and depending on your age, definitely will have to look at that. But essentially, also, I would advise that you talk to an expert as well, so that you can put all your cards on the table, and then they can help you come up with the best structure for your goals. Yeah.
Right. Right. I like how talking to experts has been something that both of you have been speaking about, and it's very important that you really get that advice, and that's what we are trying to achieve here today with this
Mm.
conversation. Smart money for professionals. So we've said a lot: where to start, how to start. For someone sitting behind the corner, the person is probably feeling overwhelmed. Like, I just saw somebody say that I have 50,000. Where do I start from? Like, people, sometimes people have the money and they feel overwhelmed and don't know where to start from because they hear so many things going on, people saying so many things. And first of all, I want you to speak on, so this to Rich Lab, I want you to speak on the returns, right? A lot of people try to make investment based on just returns, and so they go for the highest returns. So you see people go
Mm.
for places that we've heard of. I don't want to mention any names that have now become defunct because they were giving like very crazy returns. So can you can you throw some light on somebody who feels overwhelmed? How do they start? Where's the best plan, or where's the best place to start? Just a starting point. Where should they start from?
Okay. So, on the kind of investments you choose or on the returns, I think the first red flag is when you see any investment that's giving you outrageous returns.
Mm.
You look at the trending treasury bill rates at the moment, and then if the investment is promising you anything like way too high than what you are seeing, then that should be
Mm-hmm.
your first red flag, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then on people that feel overwhelmed, I think that mostly when people hear investments, they
Mm-hmm.
think you need deep knowledge on investments to be able to start, right? The truth is you don't need to be an expert to start investing. You just need a simple plan and the right mindset. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I think you need to start with your goal. You ask yourself questions like, why am I investing? What do I want to gain at the end of it? What's my objective for this investment that I'm doing? Is my goal a long-term one or a short-term one, right? And once you have answers to these questions, it becomes easier to choose the right investment option. Mostly as a beginner, I would advise that you go for or you start with a mutual fund or mutual funds, right?
Mm.
I think Tenny mentioned that earlier. Mutual funds are like one of the easiest and safest ways to get started with investments. You are basically pulling money with other investors and giving
Mm-hmm.
it to professionals who know how to navigate the market to manage for you, right, when it comes to mutual funds. So as a beginner, for me, I would always advise that if you don't know where to start from, start with a mutual fund. And fortunately, Achieve has several types or a number of mutual funds on the app that you can
Mm-hmm.
choose based on your investment objective. Okay, you have
Right.
one that fits your short-term goals. You have one that would fit your medium-term goals, and ones that will fit your long-term goals. So based on
Right.
just understanding that this is what I'm hoping to achieve, this is what I want to this is the reason I'm investing. Understanding your financial goal would help you to select which of those mutual funds would be ideal for your goals. Okay.
So
And on Achieve as well, I think you can start with as low as 20 CDs. So you
yes.
don't really have an excuse. You cannot say that your salary is not enough or you don't have enough to start with. So that's
Right.
if you are new to this, that's a starting point for you. Find one that's
Mm.
doesn't take a lot from you and understand what investments is all about, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
go bigger from there.
I want you to throw some more light. You mentioned an investment that's for short term, mid term, and long term goals. For those who are new to the Achieve by Petra app, can you mention those particular investments?
Okay. Okay, so for DigiSave, so we have DigiSave. DigiSave is ideal for short-term goals. That's I think I mentioned earlier that you could use so you can use something like that for your emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
If you need your
Mm.
money in less than an hour, you can get your money. Once there's an emergency and you have money in DigiSave, in less than an hour, the money is available for you to use for your emergency or to cater for the emergency. So
Right.
DigiSave is ideal for short-term goals. And for DigiSave, I think the minimum first time contribution is 20 CDs. After that, you can do as low as 5 CDs, 10 CDs every and you there's no limit to the number of times you can make payments. Anytime
Mm,
you can make a deposit.
right.
For medium to long term goals,
Yeah.
I would recommend um,
Eurobond trust.
Global Tech or
Okay.
Eurobond Trust.
Yeah.
Okay, Eurobond Trust is also ideal for medium to long term goals. If you have so a goal like let's say you're trying to create an educational goal for your child,
Mm-hmm.
the Eurobond Trust or Global Tech would be
Mm.
ideal because now you are able to tolerate the volatility it comes with, right? So that would
Mm-hmm.
be ideal for you. I think the even though they are long term funds, you don't exactly need a lot to start investing. Eurobond,
Mm,
for instance, I think you can start with as low as 100 CDs,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So you don't need a
Mm.
lot, even though it's a long term goal, you don't need a lot to start. So yeah, any of these products should help you
Mm,
achieve your goals.
Mm.
great. Great.
Kwabena, I just
Thank you.
wanted to add
Yes.
around the points that Rich Love mentioned around professionals, like going to a professional and getting them to put your money in a fund, a mutual fund. I also wanted to highlight that please make sure that the professional is licensed, and then also
Right.
the fund is licensed, because we've seen situations, you see a very nice app, it looks legit, but sometimes it could be some team of scammers that have put it all together to make it look like it's a legitimate investment opportunity. So I think that that's something that is key for us to look at when we are starting out. Make sure that the fund and the professional, the fund manager is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, or whichever market player regulator you have for that investment. Yeah.
Right. So Achieve is actually powered by Petra Securities Limited, which is a licensed broker. So when you go to the SEC website, you can check for Achieve. You can check for Petra, a PS or Petra Securities Limited. So
Mm.
okay. So Tenny, let me
Yes.
uh, before we go for a break, I want you to tell us. We have had conversations about making good decisions, good decisions. So probably somebody is on this call who has made some very bad decisions in the past and is biting them today. How can you bounce back from very bad decisions, very bad financial decisions as a professional?
I think the first thing is to accept or admit that you made a bad financial call. And then you sit down and then you do an analysis of why that happened. So, what was the
Mhm.
cause? What was the root cause of that decision that you made? Was it bad advice? Was it timing of your investment? Was it whatever the situation? Do the analysis and understand why you are where you are, and then also look at what your current situation is. Is it that now you're in debt? Is it that you are fine and you just want the ability or some comfort in proceeding forward? If you are now in debt, the goal is to try to clear that debt as quickly as possible, because we know that you don't get money lent to you for free. If you go to a bank, there's an interest rate. If you go to a friend or whichever business partner, whatever, there is some agreed rates that you pay as interest. And so, as much as possible, try and pay off that debt as quickly as you can. And then also look at talking to a financial advisor. Today, it's been made easy enough. You can contact Petra Securities. They have the advisors for you to speak to for free, and then they can guide you in how to put together a plan and what to start, what kind of investment to start with, looking at all the things that Rich Love mentioned around your investment horizon, the goal that you have, all of those things. And then also, it's important that if, for example, in this bad decision, it meant that you have depleted your emergency fund, then it means that you need to rebuild that emergency fund. One of the things that we fail to do is that once we create that emergency fund, the 3 to 6 months or whatever the period that we set, and then we dip into it, we never replace. But you need to
Mhm.
replace, because that fund has to be there to allow to cushion you, right? In the event of any um, emergencies that come up. And so make sure that you rebuild your fund if you dipped into it. And if you didn't have it at all, I think that it is a very good time to begin, so that the next time you don't find yourself in the same situation. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So we'll go for a quick commercial break from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
Oh no! My car broke down, and the repair costs are way higher than I expected. I need cash right now. I need cash. I can't also wait for payday. And borrowing money takes forever. What do I do? Wait a minute. I've been saving on the Achieve app. I should have some money there. Wow. My DigiSave investment on the Achieve app gained some additional interest. I love this app. With the Achieve app, I can instantly have access to my emergency savings anywhere, anytime. I've been saving little by little, and now I don't have to stress at all. Download the Achieve app today and start building your emergency fund. It's the smartest way to stay prepared for life surprises.
Okay, so welcome back and thank you for staying tuned in. Right, so let me see what we have in the comment section. Somebody's asking if we have an office in Kumasi. No, at the moment we don't, but you can connect with us. If you download the Achieve a Petra app, you can get in touch with us on support. You can also get in touch with us on all our social media channels. The name is Achieve by Petra, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. You can get in touch with us and we will talk to you. And remember, do not share any information, any personal information online on social media. Okay, because sometimes some people get in touch with the wrong accounts, with the wrong Achieve accounts, and they end up sharing information that they shouldn't be sharing online. So if you have any, you need any support, the best place will be on the app. You download the app, you can get in touch. You can get in touch with us through support, or you can call 0242 435037. So 0242 435037. And you can also get some support from there. So those who are thinking of how you can spend your money, where to spend your money, you can call that line, and you can even send us an email. Or let me just leave the number for now. Let's just use the number. Sure, a lot of people don't like sending emails. They don't know if you reply, they don't even see it. So let's start with the number and we'll pick it up from there. So let me know what you are learning so far in the conversation that's ongoing. I see somebody asking that what would be the best time duration to keep their money in DigiSave. Rachel, would you want to take that? For me, what I would do, 6 to 3 months is great. I use it for school fees instead of keeping the money in my bank account, and I'll get very small interest, very small, like snappy aba. Snappy aba. What is this in English? Forgive me, forgive my French. But for me, 6 to 3 months, I like it. Rachel, what do you do?
Yeah, Kwabna, I think you're right. 3 to 6 months. That's what would typically classify as a short-term goal. So, like I mentioned earlier, that it's ideal for short-term goals. So yeah, 3 to 6 months is okay. But once you are looking at doing something in the long term, it's advisable
Mhm.
that you move it to um, any of the other funds that's ideal for longer term goals.
Okay. So let me go back to Tenny. Tenny, seeing that you've
Mm.
been in leadership in corporate, you have risen up the ladder over the years. How have you seen financial discipline impact leadership in or leadership in somebody's career potential? Because today we are talking to professionals. How does financial
Mm.
discipline impact leadership or potential in leadership?
Okay. So first off, I'd like to say that if somebody is financially disciplined, it's very likely, like 99.9% of the time, that they
Yeah.
are disciplined in other aspects of their life.
Mm,
And so if I would, if I was to recruit or if I was to promote someone as a leader, I would look at discipline, like being the person being self-disciplined as a very key part of the traits that I look out for in picking someone. But also the fact that nobody wants to work with or nobody wants to report to if the person is above you. Nobody wants to report to somebody who's financially indisciplined, because typically it's the case that they are always in debt, they are betting. I mean, they're just very bad vices that you find associated to that person, and they
Mm-hmm.
take unnecessary and very dangerous risk. And I think as a business person in the financial sector, it's very, very prudent that you make sure that you do not have people like that within the financial services company. And so, essentially, if a person is financially disciplined, there's a perception, or there's the um, comfort that that person is someone you can trust. You can give the person responsibility, and you can trust that that person will deliver because they've shown it's in their finances. And also, you can't also have the situation where somebody who is financially disciplined is working with money, because you don't
Mm-hmm.
know at what point they will decide that they are not just going to play with theirs, they are now coming to dip into yours as an employer. And so, in
Mm-hmm.
terms of career potential and um, workplace conversations, I think it's very important because it creates that that comfort for employers, for co-workers, that this person I'm working with can be trusted because they've shown that kind of discipline in this other area.
Yeah. So it goes without saying that if you're somebody who is financially prudent, it puts you in good light
Yes.
for promotion, for growth, for development as a professional.
Mm. Mm.
I'm sure nobody will want to promote somebody who is always asking people for financial favors like on a weekly or daily basis. It becomes a problem putting people like that in
Yeah.
place of leadership.
Yes.
Okay.
And
All right.
especially if you deal with cash in your company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Great, great, great. Okay, even if you don't deal with cash card, the person might even end up
Yes,
talking
yes,
to
yes.
customers and asking them for money.
Yes, and trying to, yes, very bad for your
Yeah,
brand. Very, very bad
you
for your
know.
brand.
And one of the things I've noticed is that sometimes when people start doing things like that, they tend to have a soft spot towards the customers, and they'll be now cutting corners for the customer because they are owing them, and now the business begins to suffer. Like it's a whole
Mm.
cycle.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So, Rich Love, now that we are talking about bad financial habits and debt, how are you able to, let's say somebody finds himself unfortunately in that situation, right? How are you able to build wealth in debts?
Mm.
Hmm. Build wealth in debt. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think basically you need to find a balance between the two. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So whilst you are paying off your debt, you need to still save up something. And I'll repeat this again, that no matter how small it is, save something. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Let's look at it this way. You you encountered an emergency. You didn't have
mm-hmm,
money. So you had to take a loan, right, to
Mm.
cater for the emergency. Now you are paying off the loan, and there are two things. So as you are paying off the loan, if you don't save up money for another emergency, just in case it comes up, and
mm-hmm,
along the way, as you're paying off the debts, another emergency comes up, then it means I need to take another loan to cater for that
mm,
emergency again, right? So now you are
yeah.
going to you're sort of living in cycle. The
Exactly.
same,
Yeah.
you're just taking a loan to sort your emergencies. You pay it off, and then you take another loan,
Take another
right?
one.
But
Mm.
if as you are if you live your life such that as you are paying off your debt, you are working
Mm-hmm,
on building an emergency fund, you move away from taking loans to cater for your
Mm.
emergencies, or for to cater for things that come up, to now having your own emergency fund that you
mm-hmm,
can use to attend to any other thing that you need to attend to. So basically for me, I think you need to, as much as possible, find a
mm-hmm.
balance between the two. Pay off your
Right.
debts, but make sure that you're saving something.
Pay off your debts, but make sure you are saving something. I just lost track of time. I'm enjoying this conversation so much. It's 4:59, almost top of the hour. So
Okay.
at this moment, what I'll do is I'll take your closing remarks, Um, what one money move do you wish you knew earlier in life? Let me start with Tenny. What money move do you wish you knew earlier in life?
I'm laughing
Yeah.
because, and this would sound funny, but I wish I'd put my money in certain stocks when I was in university, or at least when I started work, whatever
Mm,
number of years ago. And so stocks like Nvidia, stocks like Netflix, stocks like Tesla. I mean,
yeah.
if you look at how much those companies have grown, you see that it's it, hindsight is 50-50 at this point, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a very big change for anyone who put their money in there at that point. So that's definitely something that I think I would have done, put my money in certain stocks.
You'd have been going for vacation every week.
Oh, yes, yes. And the vacation would not be an emergency.
Come on. Okay, Rich love, what about you? What's that money
Hmm.
move?
So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I wish during my national service days I knew that um I don't have to be rich to start investing.
Mm,
Mm,
Um, so this is my during my service days, right?
yeah.
I mean I was getting money from my parents, and then allowance was also
mm,
coming in. And then at a
Mm-hmm.
point, I got some windfalls. I had a chance to do something on the side, although it was still within my service.
Yeah.
First month, I got some
Mm-hmm.
3K. Oh, enjoyment.
Ah,
I
blow up.
chilled. you
Your
know,
future self was laughing at you.
oh, I
yeah.
sacrificed my future. And then second month, I got 5K.
Yeah.
If imagine if I had saved those monies then, those were like
Mm,
years ago. If I had
Mm-hmm.
saved those monies then and invested them, I'm sure by
Yeah.
now I would be somewhere with that money, right? But
Yeah.
at that point, I felt like, oh, I'm just a national service person. I'll start working. When I start working, I can save the money, right?
Yes.
But so for me, that was I think anytime I think about it, that was like a major money mistake that I made then. I feel like if I had
Mm-hmm.
invested that money, it probably
Mm-hmm.
would be yielding something for me today.
Yeah. 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 Okay. So for what I'm getting from you, nobody should ask me my money move. I'm still growing. So when I finish growing,
After what Wisla just said,
say again.
that there's no time like the present. There's no time like the present. So you can't say
Mm-hmm.
that
Yes.
you're still
So
young.
Yeah.
okay. You see the financial advisors, they can't even allow us to make jokes again. So yeah, thank you so much. And for what I'm learning from both of you is just take good advice. Take good advice. Because if we all knew these things earlier, we would have taken better decisions with managing our money. But when we learned, we are practicing, and that's why we are where we are
Mm,
today. Kenny mentioned about Tesla and Amazon and all those stocks. Today, it's available and achieved by Petra app. It's called Global Tech. So when you download the app, you can start investing in global tech, and you need only 100 Ghana cedi to begin on global tech, right? So it's a very volatile investment. So if you're somebody who has the
mm,
appetite for risk and is a long-term investment, that is something that you should be looking into. So thank you so much. I think you've shared so much that is going to help a lot of people, a lot of professionals make good decisions. And we know that on our socials, our analytics, we have a lot of people between the ages of 24 and 34. So relatively, we have a
mm,
little younger people to listening to us. And my hope is that all this information will not just be another set of information that they are piling up, but you start acting with it. And for me, what I'm taking from Tenny and Rich Love is that investment should be done as a bill, not a nice to have.
mm,
And we have given you the tools we have achieved by Petra. You can just download it on the Play Store or App Store. Start investing. See, with as low as 20 Ghana cedi, you can start investing. those days, if you have to do an investment, you have to read so much, try to understand something, download something, do this before you can even make a deposit. But now it's just one app. You download it, have money on your Momo, start making the deposits. You can do auto Momo, that's automated Momo. The money can just be deducting from your mobile money account, like a direct debit, without you even noticing, right? Because sometimes when we have the money on our account, we just be buying credit, buying data. And by the time the month ends and you calculate, you spend so much on data, so much on making calls. Some of the phone calls you make, they're not even necessary. But that's a discussion for another day. But I hope I hope that this discussion has been helpful to you. We want to keep the discussion within an hour, and I think we've done just about 5 minutes or beyond 5 o'clock. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please do want to share the link. Share, come back to this and listen to it over and over. Make good decisions. Get in touch with us. I'll mention the number that you can call again to speak to any of our financial advisors at Petra. So the number is 0242 435037. I'll take it again. 0242 435037. So stay well, stay invested, and let's all grow together, and let's smile when we meet each other at our various vacations and vacations. Thank you so much. This has been sponsored by Achieved by Petra. We offer convenient, safe, and secure financial solutions. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
An entrepreneur for obvious gifts and packaging. I'm into personalizing gifting for people, and I'm also into dowry wrapping. So a friend of mine, who is currently my husband, recommended the app to me some years ago. I had challenges managing my inflows, my business inflows, my personal finances. Given the fact that I could open different investment vaults on the app, yes, and Achieve allowed me save and invest towards specific business and personal goals. So I did not have trust issues with the app at all because of the person who recommended the app to me. However, I found the app a bit cumbersome and a bit difficult to navigate. So I reached out to the customer service, and they were able to help me understand the app and manage my way around it, which really helped. Achieved by Petra has served as a smart business partner for me, in that at the tap of a button, I'm able to save and invest seamlessly without having any struggle. And the proceeds I get from my investments, I've been able to use that to acquire materials, get equipment to be able to promote my business, which has helped my business grow over the years. I'll therefore recommend Achieve by Petra for any startup business as a smart business partner to streamline your finances and grow your business.